Here we go, back at it again. JJ here, Retro Rewire in the hunt. We're in Kobe once again at a book off, and this was right after work. Y'all, this is a serious thing, retro game hunting, video game hunting. I ain't no weekend warrior about this, you know. Once the clock hits the hour to get out of work, I hot dash, get ready, and then head out. And this particular book off in Kobe, it's in the middle of the city, more or less, like closer to the port. But I want to say, I don't think this area gets too many tourists. Now, maybe I shouldn't be jumping the gun there because I'm not so familiar with the kind of clientele that are coming in here. But there was a few interesting things. One in a particular interest. But here we have a cube. A lonely cube down there. We got, what's that, the memory expansion pack, and then a Hello Kitty Dreamcast keyboard for 4,000 and some change. But as I said, like when I was here, it was like in the evening. It was a little bit quiet, and it was definitely, I think I was the only foreigner in the store. And here, what do we have? A 3DS there and a regular 3DS. Now, this area isn't this showcase in particular isn't that exciting, but, you know, you definitely want to take your time. Here we have the 2DS at 22, and that's actually the lowest that I've seen it in a while. Usually those ones in the box, if you're out in Namba, that's going to be about 45,000 yen. But a whole bunch of Nintendo Switches. And the Switch Lite, the Hyrule Edition, that thing is currently sold out, and the prices are slowly climbing. And then here we have a PS1 with the screen for 18,000 yen. And I want to say that's like the lowest that I've seen it in a few months. Usually that thing is upwards of like 30,000. But usually where I see it is like in places like Akiba, Denden Town, and whatnot. And then we have a 360 Slim there for 7,200. And that one's the all matte one, which is definitely nicer than the glossy one, in my opinion. And what else do we have here? Just all sorts of controllers, and then onto the PlayStation 5. I'm still looking for the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, but I want to pay like sub 3,000. Silent Hill 2, and I think that was a new copy. At 7,000 yen, if you go to Furuichi, a new copy is down like to like 6,000 yen. And Furuichi always has some pretty good sales going on. In fact, they have a sale at the moment. I think if you buy two used games under 3,000, you get like a 500 yen discount. And then what do we have here? Some Game Boy Advance stuff. They also had Rockman World 6. Look at the price on this bad boy, 13,000 yen. And that's to be expected for that title. The days of sweet retro gaming deals are long behind us. But there are still deals to be had. You just kind of, you just have to spread where you're going to be hunting. And then 5,700 for Rockman 5. And then what's this, Twin Bee there? But Rockman 5, there's many ways, or the Rockman games, there's many ways to play these. To play those games. You know, the PS2 collection that's on the GameCube, Xbox, the Switch, the 3DS, PlayStation 4, many options. And then we got some PS5, PS3. And, I do want the all-black PlayStation 5 cover. The PlayStation 5 in all black is so sleek looking. Here we have a Super Family. And then on to the Nintendo Switch games. And again, based off the location of this particular store, if you're after like newer stuff, I definitely would not recommend coming out here. It's not really worth the trek out here for PlayStation 5 or Switch, simply because you can go to Denden Town and there's a number of shops like Gale that have really good deals on Nintendo Switch games. So you can save yourself the time. But if you're after retro, then it starts making a little bit more sense. Here's like a little, what kind of game is this? Like a shooter simulation type, Air Missions Hind. Could be interesting one. By Piki, published by Piki. And then Ghost Trick, which I believe the physical edition is Japan exclusive. And then here we have the Ray Force, or the Ray collection, which is an amazing collection. I have that. Absolutely recommend that. And then Mario RPG for 2,000. And Trials of Mana. Now, this is one that I want to get, but I think I want to get it on the PlayStation 4. But I definitely want to get that Trials of Mana remake at one point, and we'll just keep making our way here. More PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5, the selection is steadily growing. And let's see, what do we have here? What is this? Fate Samurai Remnant. Not sure what kind of game that is. Then we have some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I believe is getting an Xbox release. And there's the Master Collection for 3,400. I want to pay like 2,500 yen. Now that got a major patch update, and that's one of the reasons why I want it. And then we have this XO Primal by Capcom for 480 yen. This must have been like a flop. I don't know too much about it, but I don't know if it was developed in-house. And I'm always checking out Dragon's Dogma. 2,700 yen. It was actually less expensive in the last store that I featured, or in the last video, at the Surugaya in Kobe. It was 2,500 yen. Man, let's see, what else do we have here? We got some Wii stuff. They had a pretty good, overall, I want to say that they had a pretty good selection, or like at least stock levels in general. A lot of it, I mean, the shelves were full, and not everything is going to be like a highly desirable item, but they had a pretty good selection of stuff. We got some Wii U part. I want this one too. Tekken Tag Tournament, the Wii U edition for 1,500, and that seems to be the average price in Kansai and the Kanto region. And then Strange Journey, Shin Megami Tensei. I do have a copy of that, a North American copy. What is this? Some Kirby action there. The old DS. Now for the DS, I do want the Goemon game that was released for it early on in its life. And we have Animal Forest there, or Animal Crossing, as it's known in the States, in the West. And PlayStation 3. So they got a little bit of everything. We got some Initial D for 4,000, which seems to be an average price again. I believe that one also got a release in the arcade. And I definitely do want to pick it up at one point, but 4,000, I don't know. And we have BioShock Infinite. This is the complete edition. That's one that I do want to get. And I'm not... this game, I believe this game, you kind of like pull off like these crazy stunts. And it may support stereoscopic 3D. What else do we have? Some PlayStation 4 and then some Xbox action. It's always nice to see the Xbox stuff. And PSP games. But when I was here, the only thing that I picked up was that PS1 controller that I showed off in the start, that transparent blue, and that thing was super, super clean. And it was only 900 yen before sales tax. And then here we have the Grand Theft Auto double pack for the old original Xbox. And then this masterpiece, the orange box, 1,500 yen. Now that does support full English language options. You pop it into your Series X, and it's gonna have some 4K visual fidelity. A great collection. And then the old PlayStation 2. I've been avoiding the PlayStation 2. Actually, before heading out to on this work project out here in the Kansai, I was going hard on the PlayStation 2 collecting, both with hardware and software. So I've kind of put things on pause at the moment. But, I'm still going to look lightly. If there's a good deal, then let's go. You know how it goes. And, yeah, that's the one side. Now, here's where things start getting a little bit more interesting. With the hardware. Look at this RF adapter. I have one of those. Good old radio frequency. And then we have the Wii U Premium set for 4,000. Some controllers. Look at this. 1,800. But it's a little bit rough. And then, now this is a little bit of an eye-opener. Like, this is just junk stuff. We got a PSP. I believe this is like, what, a 2000 model? And look at the price on that bad boy. Now, if you head out to, like, smaller cities, you don't even have to go out to the countryside. It's kind of hard to define what the Japanese countryside is coming from the States. But if you go to smaller cities, you could still find PlayStation Portables in the junk section for about 3,000. And look at the condition of this bad boy. Of that 3DS LL or XL. And they had a stack of things there, and I'm sure somebody would definitely be interested in that LL in that condition, because I'm sure it can be refurbished. And then some PlayStation 2s, PlayStation 3s, all sorts of little goodies. And then they had the Battlefield PlayStation 4 there, coming in at 18,000. I wonder. I didn't really look at it, so I'm curious about what the issue was. And we have this Dreamcast, and then look at this bad boy, the Twin Famicom. Now this is the lowest price that I've seen in a long time. Before sales tax, it's coming in at 5,910 yen. Now, I didn't pick that up. No way. I'm always going back and forth between the Twin Famicom and the original Nintendo Disk System. And at the moment, I'm just sticking to the Disk System. We got some Mega Man Soccer there for 5,000. I've never played that game, and I remember seeing it at one of the rental stores back when I was a kid growing up. And I was always kind of curious about Mega Man Soccer. It could be a fun title, who knows? And all sorts of loose cards. Here we have some Goemon 2, 1,800 yen. Which sometimes you can get that game complete in the box for that price, but the box is going to be a little bit rough. We got some Super Bomberman 2. And what else do we have here? It's always nice, it's always cool looking through these Super Famicom titles. We got some Sailor Moon action there. Some Bonk 2. And then Rockman X there for 8,600 yen. And at the more popular shops, that game's like already crossing the 10,000 yen line there. We got Goemon 2 in the box. Some Parodius, Super Bomberman 4, Super R-Type. And what else do we have up here? Super Metroid for 2,700. Just the loose cart. And then here we have more. It's kind of difficult looking through all these loose carts just because there's just so much stuff. And then, that's where, if you're out here and time is limited, definitely... I would just have, your wish list ready and go directly to where those items may be. And then look around. Biohazard 2, the strategy guide, 350 yen. Man, looking through these guides. With what I've picked up with guides, I'm up to 3 guides at the moment. And look at this, X5 for 200 yen. Now, the cool thing about these is, they have some artwork in there. And sometimes, some of the stuff that I see in these strategy guides, I have never seen before. And then we have Mana, Secret of Mana 3. Now, this one actually does include a little bonus, which I'm trying to show you guys here. Again, this is just the raw feed, and it's like these stickers. Who doesn't like stickers? Come on. And then we have Echo Knight 2. And what do we have here? Ocarina of Time. All sorts of cool little guidebooks. I'm hoping one day to spot the one for Dracula X, both for either the PC Engine or Dracula XX for the Super Famicom. But I imagine those kinds of guides are going to be behind the glass. But you just never know. And then we have X2. Look at this one. 990 yen. I would have picked this one up, but I already own it. And then they had X3. Come on, man. Bringing the goods at the old book off. Final Fantasy 5. But always cool looking through. And then Biohazard 0, 900 yen. I usually use that game as a little bit of a gauge of where the pricing stands because there's a few book offs that still have that game, like at 300 yen. And I got some Game Boy stuff here. What do we have here? Rogue Squad. I should have picked this one up. I really want to add this. And thinking back, I completely forgot. I don't mind paying 1,800 yen for that. And I also want the third one. And then we have X4 here for 3,200. That one's seen a small little climb. Rockman X4 for the PlayStation 1. And the Sega Saturn title is definitely more expensive. And what else do we have here? Biohazard 3. Now, this one is jumping up, but you could still find it at select hard offs in the junk section for like 100 yen, 200 yen. So definitely be patient with that one. And then we have the Psychological Game 7. Now, guys, this is going to be a double header. We're going to be heading off to another book off in Kobe. And this one is going to be near Sanomiya Station, near the Sun Plaza. And then again, this is becoming a really popular trend, a dedicated showcase to all things Pokemon. But yeah, this is and I did have a look at other areas of the store, because sometimes they'll have like another bin just full of junk. But in this particular store, they just kind of had everything in this area. And that Twin Famicom, I'm telling you, that's definitely one of the nicer prices. Now here I'm just kind of walking through the store, and this store is actually busy. Now this is the book off, or I think it could have been a book off plus, in Kobe near Sanomiya Station, and it's pretty busy, and it's fairly large. And they did have a few interesting things. They also had like the little portable vinyl record player, which most book offs will have in stock. Kind of an interesting little player. I don't know if you can change the cartridge or the needle though. But here we go. Let's make our way here. And I was having a tough time actually finding where the games are, but here we go. We got the first showcase. And what do we have? Some Super Valis, some JoJo, Mother. Now, at this location, I didn't pick up anything, and I didn't really see anything that I had to have in my collection. Here we have the OG Xbox One, which that design is kind of growing on me a little bit, because it's modern, but it has like a touch of retro vibes to it. We got the old PS5 there for 54, a PlayStation Vita coming in at 16,000 with the 10% discount. Now, this particular shop is tax-free. And there's the portable record player, the book off edition. And it can be connected to a computer there, so you could rip your vinyl records. And then just all sorts of little knickknacks. And I've never been to this actual, this is my first time visiting this specific location. And I don't know if I'll be returning to this location anytime soon. Again, here we got some PlayStation 5 stuff. Returnal. This game seems kind of interesting. Seems like it's a third-person shooter. I don't know too much about it, but I wouldn't mind playing it. Control, that's another one that I would like to play. And Control on the PlayStation 4, Furuichi, it usually averages for about like 700 yen, 500 yen. And I think that's a pretty good bargain. Now here I'm just looking for the SNK Neo Geo Pocket Collection. Unfortunately, they did not have any. But it's all good. We'll keep hunting. And then we got another showcase here. Let's see what we got. We got the old 2DS for 15,000 with 20% off. 20% off. That's a nice little chunk of change there. And an additional 10% if you have your passport. And let's see what else. Some more Pokemon. This orange looking one. What is that? A transparent one for 39,000. Super pricey, but that is a beautiful looking color. Then we got the SP here, 50% off. Look at that, 16,000, 50% off. There's gonna be some issues there though. Now, if you go to Geo World Mobile in Akiba, they usually have like a small stack of them, and the average price is about 6,000 yen. They are going to be a little bit rough, but you can test them before you buy. Then we got some Rockman X2 with some more Sailor Moon. And some Super Bomberman, all three. We've been seeing those. And then we got some Switch Pro controllers. And then here we have the retro section. And there we go, Contra Spirits for 9,000 yen. That's definitely the lowest price that I've seen in a while. We have some Goemon for 4,000. And what else do we have here? We got a few Capcom titles. Mickey's Magical Quest, and then Rockman X there. And then what's the price of this? Super Metroid, 2,300 yen, so it's a little bit less expensive here than the first shop. Not by much. And then we have Mickey Mouse 4 for the old Game Boy. That's kind of a cool cover. I do like a few of the old school Disney stuff, and but that is a little bit pricey. For me, anyways. I'm not that hardcore of a fan. But here we have Rockman 6, and that one's badly sun-faded, unfortunately. And then we have some Puyo Puyo, I believe that was, for the Game Gear. We got some 007. What else do we... Oh, Gradius Generations for 10,000 yen. And that's just for the cart. I wonder how that is. I haven't actually played it myself. Wait, what do we have here? Monster World, Donald Duck. Some more Mickey Mouse action. Sonic Drift. I do want to pick up Ninja Gaiden for the Game Gear. That's definitely going to happen. That's on my wish list. But I just got to be patient. Don't want to overpay for it because the hard off in Kuki Saitama has a copy, but it's almost 40,000 yen. There's another copy of Rockman X, and it has the same issue, sun fading. And 10% off, that should be more like 30% off, 40. Then we have Ronald McDonald. I wonder how this game is. I've seen that one before. Next to some Double Dragon there. And what else do we have here? Just more loose cards. Could be digging in the carts all day. Then we have a copy of Silent Hill. Now this one is climbing in price too. 4,100 yen before sales tax. Now that one, all the voices are in English, but a lot of the menus are going to be in Japanese. But it's still very playable. We got some Rockman X4, 10% off. What else do we have here? Just all sorts of stuff here. Look at the small selection of Sega Dreamcast and Sega Saturn. Super Speed Racing. I should have picked this one up too. I do love these old school Sega arcade racers. And they typically have nice music. And then the Sega Saturn stuff. Let's see, what do we have here? Now, I almost got this. I got really excited. Blood Factory, which is loaded in North America. But look, it's just the cover. It's a wrestling game. That was such a tease. That was such a tease. But when I saw that, I was like, ooh. I thought I got super lucky. And I used to have that. I had the North American version on the Sega Saturn. A great little top-down run and gun. And Blood Factory 2, or Loaded 2, it did get a sequel, but only for the PlayStation 1, which I have not played. But that was a pretty cool cover, and I think the PlayStation 1 version of Blood Factory has the better cover. And then, see, 270 yen. So we're in good hands at this book off, more or less. Baiten Kaitos 2, which I believe also got like a Switch re-release, includes part 1 and 2. And that might be the way to go, as that likely has full English language options on the Switch. Man, that Blood Factory, what a tease. Here we have the Director's Cut. And Biohazard 2 and 3, yeah, it's crazy. These saw a tremendous jump, and I feel like it was just like all of a sudden. But maybe, honestly, I picked up copies years and years ago, so I haven't really been looking at them. But that's just crazy. We got some NBA Jam. This is the vanilla release. What else do we have here? All sorts of little carts. And then here we have something Dunk by Konami. And that title, that basketball game, does seem kind of interesting. But nothing that I was really interested in there in the Super Famicom stuff. Then we have the guides, but I just glossed those over. The guidebooks, they're a dangerous thing. They're going to weigh you down, believe me, but it's hard not to look. We got some PSP stuff. What else do we have? An old GameCube there for 3,600 yen. That's not too bad. And 20% off. 20% off, and it's what, $39.60 after the sales tax. Has a few issues there, but I'm sure it ain't no thing. What else do we have here? All sorts of collector's editions. Metal Max Xeno. Now here, I left the store, but then I was on my way out. I realized that they had even more. And this is the PlayStation 2 stuff. We have the Anniversary Edition, and then we have Zero, or the Anthology Collection. Now, I recommend getting like the Switch release or the PlayStation 4 release. Those things are absolutely perfect. And it's like, well, how many games is it? Like 12? More PlayStation 3 action there. And let's see. But I think I can't really think of anything that I have to have on the PlayStation 3. I think I'm pretty good with the... I mean, I'm sure there's one or two titles, but look at the cover on this. That's kind of an interesting cover. I do like that cover, I'll have to admit. And it looks like it's like a visual novel type of game, but that's kind of a cool cover. It reminds me like of a painting. BioShock. Look, 900 yen. It's even less than the first store. By 200 yen, but you know, that adds up at the end of the day. And Blazing Angels. I haven't played that. I wonder if that's any good. Blazing Angels 2. It's an Elden Ring, Grand Blue Fantasy, some Street Fighter 6 there. And then we got our old 360. And look at all these copies of Metal Wolf Chaos. Now, 2 of them, unfortunately, are sun faded, but 11th Thou. I'm telling you, this game, expensive, but definitely not rare. It's like super common. And I think nowadays that's going to be like a hard sell, just because, you know, the remaster is available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox. And that might just be the way to go. I'm not sure if it has like an English translation, as I've never played it, but it's one that I definitely would love to experience one day. And then the Bayonetta collection there. That's not a bad price. 1,100 yen. I still have that for the old Wii U, which I play from time to time. But it's going to be a while before I get to that. But guys, this was a double header. 2 book-offs. And there will be more book-off action on the way. In fact, I have a few more videos for book-offs out in Osaka. So definitely stay tuned. Ciao.